welcome to another Cleverdix episode. In this episode, we talk to Colin McLeod, who's a Scottish swimmer who lives in the Outer Hebrides on Lewis Island. We cover all parts of his swimming, including starting swimming when someone deflated his armbands and didn't tell him about it. But he does some really serious swimming now. A lot of what he does is charity swimming. He's swum from Ireland to Scotland. He's currently doing a challenge to raise money for the RNLI, swimming the distance from Land's End to John O'Groats, which is 841 miles. He's just doing it locally, but just counting up the distance. He's also talked to us about swim camping. Basically, he puts all of his gear into a waterproof backpack and goes off swimming to somewhere and camps there. It was really great chatting to him. I don't think his accent is so strong that you won't be able to understand it. It was a great chat. Here we go. Okay, so welcome to another Cleverdix episode. In this episode, we're talking to Colin McLeod. Welcome, Colin.
Hi, guys. Hi, Jim and Duncan.
Cool. So, Colin, you live over in Scotland, is that correct?
Yeah, I'm on the Isle of Lewis in the Outer Hebrides of Scotland, away up in something like the northwest.
Right, that's as far north as you can kind of get there by the sounds of things.
Well, so all sunny, high humidity, blue skies most of the time, yeah?
Mostly like dark blue skies.
Cool. So mostly when we start one of these interviews, we just give you a bit of an opportunity to just sort of tell us a little bit about your swimming story. You know, I think both of us have done a little bit of investigation and research, but maybe just a little bit from you as to how you got into swimming and a little bit just about your swim story.
Yeah, of course. Well, I sort of learned to swim probably like at a later age. And the way they taught me, it was like the lifeguards at the local swimming pool. And week after week, they would slowly take the air out of my armbands. And, it's like, and they say, oh, Colin, like you're swimming, without armbands. And I says, but I'd be like, no, the armbands are actually on. And then they squeezed them and there was absolutely no air in them at all. I was just like, so I was in a pool and sort of like continued from there. And there was a local swimming club and I joined that with my brother Grant and was taken from there and came up to like competitions and it was weird. We'd go away off to the mainland and compete, and we were totally rubbish. We thought we were great, but it's like when it came to competing against mainland Scotland teams, we were terrible. And so, but then was it in 2011? So, some friends and myself wanted to do some charity swimming from like the Isle of Harris, which is connected to the Isle of Lewis where we live, to mainland Scotland and back to raise money for cancer research. And so we did some training, and that sort of that event was a bit of an eye opener. We hadn't really done enough training. The boat was too small. We just.
What was that in the ocean, Colin?
Yeah, in the sea. So that's like where it sort of all started. My sort of sea swimming, more or less, like about 13 years ago, really. And from there, so I've carried on doing maybe like solo charity swims or team ones as well, and so mostly based around the Hebrides, where I stay. So because it's a lot cheaper to do it that way as well.
Yeah, it's funny how cost with any sport that you talk about these days, cost is always at the top of the list, right? It's become expensive to do these adventures these days, right?
Yeah. That's but also got into like the swim camping and sort of swim hiking as well, So and they're really good to do.
So, Colin, talk to me about swim camping. I'm super keen. I want to know about that. I'm keen to give it a go. What does that involve?
Well, there's different ways of doing it. What we did, being Scottish and being a wee bit tight with money, Was it we?
You spend all your money on beer, right?
Yeah, and whiskey. Yeah.
Yeah.
We basically put, like, imagine you were just going camping on land. So you would take your stuff, in a rucksack. And but what we do is we double bag it. So we put in a waterproof bag in a waterproof rucksack. And so we, like, tow that behind us. So some water might get in, but your stuff, your kit, your camping gear, your clothes, your beer. Well, your beers doesn't matter if that gets cold because it's not tin. Or wait. So you put all that stuff double bagged in your rucksack. You tow that behind you, and you maybe swim off to an island. Obviously, there's a safety side to consider as well, letting people know where you're going. When you're going to return. I use like a spot tracker as well, and so I don't know if you've heard of them, and so people can track me where I'm going. It's just like
yes,
and it's also got an SOS button should the event arise where it might need rescued or something like that. So it hasn't got
you
yet. But there's so much where we live in the out of Hebrides, Scotland. If you've got an eye for the outdoors, whatever sport you want to do, it's great. So we, some of my friends and myself maybe like swim over to an island, just to kind of like a wee micro adventure, and it's great. It's a great thing.
Okay. So Colin, do you put the backpack in a little boat or a little kayak, or do you just tow it behind you in a plastic bag and tie it to your feet or something?
Yeah, no. So there's a Palm or Ortlieb, Lomo. They all do sort of different sort of rucksacks. So it's just kind of like a waterproof rucksack, and you've got like a waterproof sort of liner inside it, and inside that waterproof liner is all your gear that you need. Maybe obviously if you're swimming in a wetsuit, you need like clothes to change of clothes to put on for camp. Maybe not where you guys not need so many thermals as we do in Scotland.
No. Wow. So generally you would do this in summer only, I'm assuming?
No, it's more like for me it's more like a 3-season: spring, summer, autumn. So I wouldn't really do it in winter. Because if you were over there and it was just you were too cold and hypothermic,
Yeah. So you've got a wetsuit on?
Aye, most of the time. Yeah. Just because you might be bashing into rocks, or there could be lots of things around as well. So it's
okay. So is this the type of thing, Colin? You would. I mean, how many nights you would spend one night out camping, or more than one? Is it one swim per day, or I suppose it's whatever you want it to be, right?
Yeah. Mostly at the moment it's just been one night, but maybe after a while it might expand into two, really. And for the amount of swims, it sort of really depends. I set depending if I'm going on my own or with my friends, we'll decide where we want to go, Was it, and if we want to, we've done ones from the Isle of Lewis into the Isle of Harris where might be like 5 or 6 swims in one day. You're crossing like sea lochs, climb, going up hills, downhill, then you're onto another sea loch, and then cross that one. So it's just really great adventures, and where you just sometimes you bump into people randomly in the middle of nowhere as well, So, have you heard of a program called the In-Betweeners?
No. Have you? No. Tell us about that.
My friend Stuart and myself we're doing that one from the Isle of Lewis into the Isle of Harris, which is probably about 3 sea lochs. But to get to them, you had to walk out in the middle of nowhere. And we crossed 2 of the sea lochs, I think it was, and we came across this old dwelling, and there was like some knocking and some work that was going on, and I said, I said, Stuart, since we're in the middle of nowhere, might as well go and find out what's happening in this house. And so knocked on the door, and this lady came, and opened it, and Says, what are you guys doing here? And so we were telling her all about swim camping, and she says, oh, that's fantastic. Like, I only do and get my husband. And so was it? He turned up and he says, telling him all about that, what we were up to as well, and says that's fantastic. And says we asked him what he did, and he said, I'm a producer of this Gaelic TV show called Bannon, which is quite famous up here where we are. He says then he started going a wee bit red in the face. He says, but you might actually know me for another TV program. And was it? He says, what's that? He says, oh, I'm actually the producer of The Betweeners. And we're like, get away, For that, for we are in the UK, it's quite a famous program. It's just like a kind of like teenagers growing up sort of thing, and their experiences with girls and drink and so on. Like, a few films about it as well. Like, I highly recommend watching it. Like, so, but
In-Betweeners, okay.
The In-Betweeners.
So you just randomly met this guy on one of your adventures, which is pretty cool, eh?
Yeah. So was it? So it's just fantastic, and where you can go and what you can see. It's just obviously if you're in a kayak or something that paddling, you stretch. Where you can go is a lot further where we can go with our swimming. Like but it's just great. To do all these different things. You guys must have places like that in New Zealand as well.
I think we are probably spoilt for locations and opportunities to do it. But I'm not aware of anybody that's actually done it.
No. So Mike Cochrane, when they swam around Lake Taupo, they didn't just have it they had a little kayak thing that they pulled behind, but they basically swam like 20 Ks a day, and then they'd stop and they'd camp, and then they'd go. There's him and another woman. It was basically a kind of swim camping.
Why does it not surprise me that Mike is at the forefront of that thinking? Okay. But Jim and I were chatting about doing a river swim. And that might be a nice opportunity to do some swim camping.
Do something like that.
So that could be a great idea. We'll phone you for some advice. What happens when your matches get wet and you can't start the evening fire camp?
Yeah, well,
campfire.
That can be a bit annoying as well. Like, but it hasn't really happened so far. Maybe sometimes the midges has put us off. Was it? I don't know if you know about the Scottish midge.
Yes,
they'll just be a nightmare. You'll have a midgie net on over your head, and you're just trying to eat or have your drink. You trying to have your beer, so it's like drink that. Back to it's like you're trying to eat your food. And it's like 100 probably full of nutrients. So, not very nice. Have another beer. But going back to what you said about your friend there towing maybe a kayak, I know some people who maybe tow maybe like a sitting canoe thing, they maybe have swam down river, towing that, camped overnight, and then paddle back up river. So it's your own adventure really. We do have a Facebook group called like Swim Camping, Swim Packing, Swim and Swim Hiking. It's all under the same sort of umbrella.
What's the name of the Facebook group?
It's if you search for Swim Camping, Swim Hiking, Swim Packing. Some people call it Swim Packing.
Gotcha.
But we've kind of
all right.
Although I'm doing those challenges here, like over the previous years, we've friends and myself, we've kind of been drill biddies in it.
I mean, it's pretty novel, right? Because if I recall correctly, you got I think the guys at Outdoor Swimmer tracked you down and interviewed you with regards to swim camping as well. So it's not a. I mean, I had never heard of it before. I think it's an amazing idea, but I would be very, very keen to do it. I think in a lake is probably the way to go, or river, as you mentioned. We're obviously surrounded by ocean, so most people would be tempted to do it, swimming oceans. But But what I'm not too sure of is what the legalities and the sort of safety measures are of just camping on a beach. I mean, I don't even know if we can do that here.
Yeah, well, it's
freedom camping and those rules.
What you've got to do is you've got to balance asking for permission and asking for forgiveness and work out which one's easier, because forgiveness is always the easier one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Would you have those issues in Scotland, or is it legal to sort of just camp wherever you want to camp?
Well, thankfully, where we are in Scotland, we've got the right to roam. So as long as you are, a decent person, and if there's gates for sheep or cattle or anything like that, you close it behind you, and obviously you leave no trace of your camp as well.
Clean up and everything, yeah.
Yeah. And so, but there's also shooting estates one time, like around as well. So maybe people go out shooting for deer and grouse, things like that. So, and there has been a few times that we've been out camping, and the estate manager says, "Oh, you should have phoned us in advance," So, was it so that if what do you call it? If was it if we had if we had been camping and they had somehow mistaken us for deer and accidentally shot us, I said, I'm kind of a big old fag, like I don't know how you'd actually. Deer. he was laughing about that. He's a friend of ours anyway. He's just having a giggle, But even he was amazed how far out, because we would maybe go as part of our expedition or we adventure, a way out onto his shooting estate, And, but with the swim camping as well, what you were saying about the lakes, our version of lochs. You don't always have to swim off to an island. Sometimes, the weather is really bad, and we won't be able to swim any off, in the ocean. So we'll maybe just walk out somewhere and camp there, and also maybe have a dip in a loch or the sea.
Gotcha.
Just whatever's safe, for you to do.
So, what do you maybe in that list of bare necessities there? Your packing list to take with you, what do we need to have with us?
Well, I made a list of things, and that's changed over the years as I've been doing it. I've condensed things and just made it better. And also as time goes on, a variety of things change on the market, and some of the bags. Sometimes I probably started off with 100-litre rucksack roughly.
Yeah.
And then at one point, I maybe got it down to like 40 litres. On comfort wise, I'm mostly probably about 60 to 70 litres or something. If you're into camping on land anyway, you've probably already got most of the gear anyway, for that.
Yeah.
I would, and again, depends what you're doing. Are you swimming over to an island, or are you just walking out to a loch or a lake, to just camp overnight? And so you might not need a wetsuit. I've done ones before. I've not needed to take that. So that takes down what you actually need. But there could be things like, obviously a tent? Was it a sleeping bag? Inflatable pillow. Can't go wrong with that. First aid kit, map.
Yep.
These sort of things. Compass. We stove. I quite like these brew kits or jet boils where everything's just in one. That was a learning curve. I tried these triangular ones that you just you put the gas canister on and then
they're quite small.
Yeah. And then was it with the wind? It just kept blowing the flame out. I thought, then I got. I got a windshield as well, and then was it? It would still keep blowing out, but that's when I invested in one of these. Was it Alpkit brew kits? So it's all in one. So the flame's never gone out of one of them, and they're just great,
cool.
Like a jet boil sort of thing.
And then I would imagine some type of light.
Yeah, or a head torch. Yeah, or some people have them on their mobile phones as well.
Yep.
With my mobile phone, I tend to have that in one of these packs, so you can put the phone in the pack, and sometimes maybe carry it around my neck when I'm on land.
Yes.
As well, if I'm walking or hiking somewhere, so it's handy.
Yes.
It's handy if you want to get in touch with somebody or take photos or anything like that of your wee adventure. Yeah. So
and I would imagine that when you wake up that morning after your camp and swim adventure, that cup of coffee on the side of the lock, wherever you are, is the most amazing cup of coffee you've had in a while, right? Out in nature always tastes better.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. And just being where I've been really, and just taking in the views. As one time I was camping. I'd swum over to like an island. Well, the swim probably wasn't that far, maybe like 500 meters. Walked up a hill and camped at the top of the hill in a bog. The bottom of the tent was soaking, But before I'd done that, I was having my dinner. I was like couscous. But my son and his girlfriend were down at this Taste and See, it's called. Kind of like a van that sold all these things, and they were having their chicken goujons or whatever, and they were waving at me, because I was quite visible in my high vis blue top, and and they're messaging, "Hey Dad, hope you enjoyed your couscous," as they're having their chicken goujons. I won't say what I said.
Oh, that's a good story.
But yeah, first of all I started with say super noodles, but then I went on to the likes of couscous because it needs less water to sort of boil up, but mixing different things with it, So one of my friends, Stuart, he's always got these bizarre sort of foods, he's just always laughing at me. What flavour of couscous is it tonight, Colin? Oh, Mediterranean,
So, do you train swimming during the week, or is it just a case of you swim when you're doing an adventure camp, or do you do other forms of swimming as well?
Well, this year I'm doing a challenge for our local lifeboat station. 2024 is the 200th anniversary of the Royal National Lifeboat Institution, the RNLI. So what I'm doing is, kind of like a part of a team. We're going from Land's End to John O'Groats, which is kind of like the length of Great Britain.
Wow!
You're swimming there,
but locally. That's where I am on the Isle of Lewis. So, but we've given ourselves a year to do it. So I'm swimming it. Somebody else is walking it. Somebody else is running it, cycling it, doing a triathlon of it as well. So we started on the 1st of January, and I probably did on the 1st of January. I probably did like a mile because it was Baltic. So I'm now at was it 755 miles?
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's
a lot of mileage, Colin.
That's 1,000 kilometers, just over 1,000 kilometers.
Oh, well over.
And what's the target to get to by the end of the year? What's the length of the
841? So if you were to drive it, from like the southwest to the northeast, it would be 841 miles. So
you're going to finish by the end of the month?
Hopefully, yeah. I've got. I wrote it down. I've got 86 miles left to go.
Okay.
To John O'Groats. So
nice, man.
Possibly are thinking about maybe heading a bit north, which is like to Shetland. How we're known as the Western Isles, they're known as the Northern Isles. So there's Orkney and Shetland.
Yep.
And that would round it up over like 1,000 miles.
Gotcha.
But we'll see how it goes anyway. Although I don't know,
that's really impressive.
If you can see my swim cap tan line there,
I can.
I don't know how it shows up on that side. It could be a lot worse if we're having a really sunny year. this part would be like mahogany, and the rest would be like pure Scottish, white.
What does your family and your partner think about your crazy adventures?
Kelly, she's been really supportive, for that. Like,
Yep.
Come down, and she swims as well, so sometimes maybe joins me. So
Nice.
maybe I walk in the dog Lola, going up and down the beach, so we've got other friends that will join in now and again. A lot of them came down when I swam kind of virtually over the border from England to Scotland. That was 454 miles. So it was nice of the family and friends to come down, and some joined in the
That's
water.
very cool.
Yeah, so
Makes it a bit more special. Yeah.
Definitely, it's been quite an emotional trip, and going out and maybe swimming maybe 3 or 4 miles. My thing is I don't get out of bed for less than 3 miles now.
Yeah.
The whole team, our target was like £5,000, to raise for. This is all for the Stornoway lifeboat station. We're now over £6,500.
Nice.
So people have been very generous. Thank you very much, everybody.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah,
very cool.
It's nice, I've been given a talent, which for me I feel is swimming, and it's nice to do good things with that talent, to try and raise money for different charities, and that's what we've been doing over the years, either as a team. I've been for cancer research, or as the Hebrides Men's Cancer Support Group, these sort of things, and just doing different swims. That's what saying. I've swam from mainland Scotland to our island, which was like 33 miles. So swam that in 21 hours.
Is that in one go, one swim?
21 hours and a minute.
Wow, that's a proper swim, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's impressive.
That minute annoys me, but it is what it is.
Obviously that would have involved some nighttime swimming as well.
Yeah, that was more so near the end, just coming in, and it started off really calm, and even swimming across, like a couple of kayakers. The boat for us plots the course, and then the kayakers follow the boat, and I follow the kayakers. That's the way we do it. I do it over here, so swim alongside, and so I saw the kayakers they're pointing, pointing's not very good.
It's not a good sign.
Not a good sign, So it's carry on swimming a bit, and then there was a bit more pointing, And was it? So I said to hey Rob, what's happening? And it says, there's a minke whale been circling you for like an hour. I'm like, what? And then the whale sort of in front of us, the whale sort of came out, breached. And then they went back in, and then just circled and then headed off, So and it's things like that. Just different experiences. I've had seen.
Now the amazing thing with, sorry to interrupt you, the amazing thing with that is that being in the water, you weren't aware of that whale at all, right? But your mate on the kayak with a higher visibility could see it, right? So I'm always sort of quite amazed, or not amazed, but I guess interested in that. Whenever we go out into the ocean, there's some there's some dudes swimming around us, checking us out, and we're in their environment, and it's quite cool that that whale came and checked you out, and came to say hi, and just came to see what you were doing, right? Which is pretty cool, very special.
Definitely, and that's what I love about swimming outside, compared to in a pool, where you're maybe following a black line up and down. I wish I'd gone to the outdoor swimming, a lot earlier in my life. And I've been doing it for 13 years, but I wish it was more like 30 odd, if not 40. I'm doing those challenges now. I'm seeing a lot more. As one of the times was I was swimming down the brae, and there was a seal, and it was like swimming on its back underneath me. So its eyes were like popping up, so I was like looking down, and the seal was like looking up. I'm like waving away that I wish I had my GoPro to record that, but it can be things like just like this there's seagulls flying over you. There's one I've now called Steven's Eagle, and it's just like it's been swooping at me, a few times over the last few days, or give it some of the shoals of sand eels, and even I know people don't like jellyfish. I'm not a fan really either, but just seeing all the colours of them, and just like compass jellyfish.
It's nice seeing them from a distance, right? Not when they're wrapped around your face. Yeah.
No, I've had a few stings over the years, but so I usually take a paracetamol to help numb the pain.
So, do you swim with a kilt or do you swim with a Speedo?
Mostly in a wetsuit, to be honest. Was it? I don't know a kilt. We did actually make. I forgot about that. We made Tweedos and Twammers. Tweedos, yeah. So we were doing. Was it St Kilda to the Isle of Harris, which was but this was as a team, so it was about say 50 or 60 miles. I think it was about 60 miles, and this was for 4 different charities, and it took us about 36 hours in the end. We maybe swimming like 45 minutes each in rota.
Okay.
So
you were awake for 36 hours.
Oh no, there was a team of 7 of us, so we would maybe swim in rotation.
So you could have a.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
so you could have a break, and there's we'd have a good support boat there as well, and so one of our brainwaves was to do a charity calendar, and we came up with this idea of Harris Tweed, if you've heard of that, Harris Tweed Speedos, Tweedos. So we had a friend who's she would make footstools out of tartan, as it was and she was happy to, if we bought the trunks that would fit us, she would and choose her own tartan as well, I got McLeod tartan, and and so she put the tweed onto the front of the Speedos, and and we started modelling for this calendar, and looking back
You've got to send us those pictures, Colin.
No, it was almost causing car crashes, and some of them just looking inappropriate. Standing at the side of a loch with a fishing rod, wearing nothing else but your Tweedos, car going past, thinking, was that you? Yeah, stuff you do for charity.
You might be on billboards all over the world soon. You never know, right?
Hopefully not. Not for me, anyway. Maybe some of the others in the team then. It's good.
What's on the bucket list in terms of swimming in the next couple of years?
Oh, I don't think there is really. I'm quite, after this challenge, we're just starting from the 1st of January, and we're now on the 3rd of August.
Quite naked.
Yeah, it's taken a long time, and so I'm quite happy. I haven't really done any swim hiking or swim camping this year because it's just been concentrating on this challenge here. So I've just I'll probably just retire back into swim camping and hiking and
have a bit of a break and
I think it's what we deserve after putting all this.
I think so too.
Yeah. So
that's very cool, man.
Have you guys been over here at all, or over to Scotland?
I've been up to Scotland once. I lived in the UK for a couple of years when I was a wee lad, but that was down in Birmingham. I spent 3 years living in Birmingham.
And for me, I've literally just been in and out of Glasgow for 3 days, many years ago, probably about 20 years ago now. I didn't have the opportunity to see the countryside and all the beautifulness of what Scotland is.
But at some point.
Yeah, we definitely do. I've got a whole bucket load list of swims, so definitely, man.
Well, I tell you what, I've been enthused the idea of the swim camping. I've just got so many ideas running through my head at the moment. I think this is,
You'll have to bounce some off Colin and get his approval before we do something.
Join his Facebook group and then we can ask permission there. Oh, no, ask for forgiveness after we do it.
But I've got a friend, Scott Oliver. He's probably been doing this from camping longer than I have. He's down near Glasgow, Loch Lomond. He's maybe there's some islands on there. He maybe's been swimming over to. He double bags his things into like a kind of like a hold all sort of thing and tows that behind him.
Yeah,
and as his wee mini adventures over there, like, and it's so good for the head. It's like a wee break away from it all without really going too far. You don't have to. For us, we don't have to jump on a plane or a ferry to get.
100%.
We just like swim over, and it could be things like just watching the sun go down, the sun setting, things that make it all.
So, I've got 5 kids, Colin. So my budget is very similar to yours. And just an opportunity to get out and get some headspace of my own is quite important, right? I think as a dad, as a man, mental health and all that stuff is key. Mm-hmm. So I think, swim camping every now and again is maybe scoring some points, getting out the house a little bit. And, like you say, just little things, man, watching the sunrise, being in the middle of an ocean for me is always, whenever we stop and have a look around, I always feel so happy and blessed to be able to be out there, right? It's amazing. It's difficult to explain.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You should try getting up early in the morning and coming swim with me more often.
I did today.
I've still to have
my nickname. I'm Captain Reliable, Colin. So yeah, he just relax me.
I'm not really a fast swimmer, but I'm more a plodder. I would say, but for me, it's not so much about the time. It's more about doing the distance, especially for the likes of this challenge. I do have a diet. I've kept a journal. Of each destination, because on there, between Land's End and John O'Groats, there's maybe about 26 destinations. I'm now heading for number 24 on there, so I've got 49 miles to get to the next destination. Then the last 2 are like 18 and 19, so it's getting over this hurdle first, You've obviously heard of YouTube. I've got a channel on there. I think it's Heb Sea Swimmer or something. If people search for that.
Cool. We'll give that a punt.
I've got
nice, man.
There's a swim camping, made like a help sort of thing for people. So if they get into that, it should help them. They were made maybe a few years ago, so might need to update them. But it's just like from people how to. But making a list of things that maybe changes, how to pack your rucksack, and then, so there's 3 different videos, it's like, what to take, maybe swimming with it, and all these different things, so hopefully it helps people.
But absolutely.
We can punt that. We'll put it in the show notes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, Colin.
So that's there so there's also like, usually when I'm out on an adventure like a swim hike or a swim camp, I'll make a wee video of that. So I've made there's playlists there for people if they want to show that. But I don't have many followers. I don't really care.
Neither do we. But this is the followers that we do have are good followers and are interested. And I think there's a lot of guys on our side in New Zealand specifically that would be very interested in swim camping, and hopefully we can give it a nudge and we'll test it and give you some feedback and let you know how we go.
If we can help at all.
But yeah, it's been really cool to chat, Colin.
Yeah.
How
did you find me?
Yeah.
By the way, from all over.
Hey. We've got a couple of Scottish mates. We interviewed Andy Donaldson not so long ago. He's living in Aussie now.
Right. Yeah.
He gave me your cell phone number and said you're a legend and we should get hold of you and talk swim camping. Yeah.
I think he's a legend, really.
He is. He's done so well, man.
He is awesome.
Yeah. When he put a comment on, I think it was when I went over the border. As part of this challenge from England and Scotland, he put a comment on. I did just it was kind of like a double take. I was like, is that the real Andy Donaldson? So screenshot that and message back saying you just made my day.
Hey, Colin, thank you, mate. I really appreciate your time.
No problem at all.
Yeah, keep doing what you're doing and keep inspiring the guys to get out there into any water whatsoever. And we'll catch up in a couple of months' time and give you some feedback from our adventures. Yeah.
Yeah, if I can help at all regarding anything in the Outer Hebrides, just let us know. We also do have a Facebook group called the Hebridean Sea Swimmers. If anybody is coming over here, there's probably about 2,000 people on the group. Most of them are tourists, have come and visit.
Wow.
And we're always happy to take people out. We swim for free, so we don't charge, and it's always nice.
Hebridean Sea Swimmers.
Hebrides.
Hebrides.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
No,
Cool.
it's Hebridean.
Cool.
So, so anybody visiting, we'll take them out and have a wee swim. Sometimes it might be like swimming through an arch or a bit of coastal swimming. Depends on their ability.
Awesome.
Time and conditions as well. So it's such a nice thing to do.
Well, thanks for listening. I'll put some links to the Facebook and Instagram and YouTube accounts in the show notes. Really was good talking to him. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, if you've got any comments or suggestions, please send it to cleverdixnz@gmail.com, or you can give us a comment on our Instagram page. All right. See you later. Bye.